स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ओम शांति शांति शांति। The Upanishad is a text which reveals to us the oneness of the self and Ishvara as both being Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So any text which reveals this can be called an Upanishad. If any other religious text also reveals the same knowledge, I'm okay with that. That is also Upanishad. In the Vedas, like I said yesterday, there are the last portion of every Veda. There are these Upanishads which give us the Jnanam of the self, the nature of the self, being Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Not that it is not there in the rest of the text. In fact, in many parts of the other texts also, in the Karma Kanda and the various other texts also, you will find this. They will also be classified as Upanishads only. Because by definition, Upanishad is that which reveals the truth of what is closest to me without a doubt and which removes all the ignorance and therefore reveals it and therefore makes it absolutely irreversible. So every Upanishad has the same content. The styles are different, the approach is different, the methodology used is not identical. Every Upanishad in some form will help us understand what this Jagat is, because that's where we start. And having shown the nature of the Jagat as being non-self-existent, as being a karya of the Jagat Karanam Brahma, it will then go on to negate that also. By that time, the seeker is ready to understand that this is also negatable, that there is only that one indivisible whole that has to be I, because on the one hand, by all these studies, you arrive at the fact that there is only that one indivisible Brahman which is whole. And I know that I exist. That is another fact which cannot be negated. These are the only two non-negatable things. And they being only the non-negatable thing, they have to be the same. This is the structure generally. There were perhaps many Upanishads. I read somewhere that about 108 Upanishads still exist. Of these, Shankaracharya has written the Bhashyam, commentary, on 10 of them. Isha Kena Katha Prashna Mandukya Mundaka Mandukya Taitreya Aitreya Chandogya Brahadaranyaka. These are the only 10 on which there is Shankaracharya's Bhashyam available. I said only 10. It's like, when you write a large amount check, $3,087,548 only, with that kind of only. amount of work that Shankaracharya has done is phenomenal. Really speaking, if you study any one of them, it is good enough. There is one Upanishad called Kaivalya Upanishad, for which Shankaracharya has not written a bhashyam. There are other bhashyams available. The name Kaivalya, one of the interpretations of that is that is enough, Kevalam. Really, one is enough, really. One can overcome all the obstacles in removing the erroneous impressions we have gathered, removing all the doubts, and arriving at the inevitable knowledge of the self being Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That is the only understanding. It could happen to somebody by simply listening to one Upanishad. For most of us, it requires much more than that. Whole process, like I said, of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, Punah, Punah, over and over again. These 10 Upanishads are taken from all the 4 Vedas. We have Isha, Taittreya, etc. from Yajurveda, Kena and Chandogya from Samaveda, Mundaka, Mandukya, etc. from Atharvaveda, and a lone representative from Rigveda in the form of Aitreya Upanishad. Every Upanishad, like I said, will touch upon the nature of this Jagat. Because our inferences and conclusions are so strong, because we continue to perceive the Jagat, all that happens in the Jagat, the objects, the intangible, the feelings, the pain, the thought, everything, it becomes necessary to go through the process of understanding this. And for that, every Upanishad will also tell us Upasana is important. You have to be having a certain prayerful attitude to Ishvara. And in time, by engaging in life as a karma yogi, one gets into the state of readiness when one gains, one is in a position to gain this knowledge. There are many kinds of knowledge that we know in the world, but this is exceptional. They're exceptional in the sense that there is nothing like this. The value of this knowledge is infinite. And therefore, the loss that we incur if we don't follow this, we don't understand this, is equally large. And what is the phalam? This knowledge of the self as being anantam as being akarta, abhokta, karta, bhokta, karma, everything belongs to this mithya jagat. Kartrutvam is in the jagat. And when that is not there, there is no karma, there is no karma phala, there is no need for a ayatanam to exhaust the karma phala. Therefore, no sharira. Therefore, freedom from the cycle of birth and death. You know, this is important to understand. It is not that you have an elixir to become immortal. Which is what mankind has been searching for a long, long time, successfully. It is not that you want to extend the ayu infinitely. The ayu belongs to the sharira. So when you say ātmatattvam, no mrityu, mrityu belongs to sharira. So the knowledge that the sharira is I, but I am not the sharira, is enough. Then neither janma nor mrityu belongs to me. They belong to the sharira. That is what is meant when they said, no birth, no death. One verse I'm trying to remember from Yugovindam. Says, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. All that belongs to this jagat. While the jagat is I, Brahman, I have nothing to do with it. The gold is not the chain. The chain is gold. Gold is not the bangle. Gold is not the ring. But all of them are nothing but gold. So some examples like this taken from the Jagat helps us to at least think along those directions and gain a sense of saying, there is something I need to understand. And to understand that, I need the grace of Ishvara. So one lives a life, a prayerful life, searching for that answer, searching and praying that I gain that knowledge. That prayer slowly elevates from being a prayer for gaining something in this Jagat, which includes all the lokas, includes Svargaloka Tyari, or getting rid of something that I don't want, or pray for other people, other jivas, other jantus. Pray for those people suffering in Ukraine. Pray that people who brainlessly go and do harm to others, they get some buddhi. Elevate ourselves slowly to the state of saying, Hey Bhagavan, show me your real nature, which translates into saying, show me my real nature. Ananya Bhakti. So we have a number of prayers in the Karma Kanda and in every Upanishad. Certain amount of upasana is there. Karma, upasana, and Jnana. These are the three steps. This Upanishad, this particular Upanishad, called Atharvashirshopanishad, sometimes called Ganapathi Upanishad, or Ganapathi Atharvashirshopanishad, is an Upanishad, obviously from the Atharva Veda. That Veda's author, not author really, but the Veda Rishi belonging to that Veda is called Atharvana Rishi. This is why it's Atharva Veda. And this Veda is one of those Vedas where we don't have Shankaracharya's Bhashyam. But there are other Bhashyams available. There is one Upanishad, Brahmendra, I think his name is, who's written many commentaries, including for this Upanishad. This Upanishad also tells us the same thing. But this Upanishad has much bigger portion on the Upasana. So in a sense, it is like Bhagavad Gita. Which also gives us Yoga Shastram and Moksha Jnanam. This is why it is so easy to follow. You use that to step up to Moksha Jnanam. Like that, this Upanishad also has extensive Upasana in there. Many Upanishads very briefly touch upon it. Like the Kena Upanishad we did, jump straight into the discussion on the Jnanam. Only towards the end, the Upanishad introduces one student who, having heard the entire Upanishad, asked the teacher, please teach me the Upanishad. Not so much to say that he was a murkha, but to say, in order to gain that, what are the steps that I should take? And we saw that in Kena Upanishad, how he is given certain upasana. This has a very large section on upasana. In fact, generally, Atharva Veda has more of this than most other Vedas in the Upanishads. That is another reason why this Upanishad is chanted in every Ganapathi temple. Every time you do puja for Lord Ganesha, you chant this Upanishad as a prayer. Generally, otherwise, Upanishads are not often chanted as prayers. They are studied for their knowledge content. This is chanted in every Ganapathi temple. So it becomes very familiar. So although it doesn't belong to the 10 Upanishads for which commentary is available by Shankaracharya, this is also considered an important Upanishad. Some people classify Upanishads as major and minor. If you understand that the content of the Upanishad primarily is ātmajnanam, then there cannot be a major minor. You can have a big Upanishad like Brihadaranyaka, or Chandogya, or a small Upanishad like Mandukya. So you cannot have important and unimportant Upanishads. Message is the same. So some people classify major, minor. One way of classifying that is those which have commentary of Shankaracharya are called major Upanishads. More because the Upanishads are not easy to understand. Even Bhagavad Gita we find sometimes difficult to understand. We need to go back to the Bhashyam to get a sense of understanding. The word Atma is used in so many different meanings. It might be confusing if we don't know or what is the meaning in that particular context. Only in that sense can one call an Upanishad a major or a minor Upanishad. Fortunately, this Upanishad is, relatively speaking, simple, particularly if you've already studied some other Upanishads. Like I said, the message is the same. So this deals extensively with various Laukika Vishaya, Upasana, and then goes on to talk about that knowledge of the self. Like in other Atharva Upanishads, this also has a Dhyana Slokam, which we chanted just now. Om Bhadram Karnebi Shruniyama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Makshabhir Yajatraha Stirehi Angaihi Shushtvagum Yasastanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vruddhashravaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti Nastarksho Arishtanemihi Swastino Brahaspatir Dadatu. As in every other Dhyana Shlokam, in fact, as in everything which is considered good or auspicious, the starting is always Om. Om is such an important element in our understanding. Om is Brahman. Om is everything. You know, I use Om for everything. I use Om as a greeting. I use Om as thank you. I use Om as goodbye. Everything is Om. There's one little girl, 3-year-old girl who comes here. So she heard me saying this, and somebody asked her, what does Om mean? So she says, Om means bye-bye, because every time she goes away, I say Om. But Om is everything. There are people in the West also who understand that this is what they call primordial sound, the initial vibration by which the entire Jagat was created. And we also know that Om has this range of sounds covering everything that comes from all the way from the deep throat through to the O, A, U, entire sound range. And we know that this Jagat, everything is only Nama. There is sounds. It covers the entire range of it. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at Om is from the etymological derivation of its meaning. Ava is the root, Rakshane, protect. Through various processes becomes Om. It is a single syllable, Ekaksharam. Aksharam itself has two meanings. You know Aksharam as a single syllable. You also know Naksharati iti Aksharam, that which never gets destroyed. So Om is Ekaksharam, and therefore one doesn't normally say things like, I've heard many people say that. It is Om, period. It is called a Shabda Pratika. It is not a visual Pratika, although we all quite often everywhere use as visual. Shabda Pratika. It's only a sound. And like I said, the sound, because it represents the entire Jagat. The Shastra also recognizes this, the importance of Om. There are many places where you will see how it is explained, the importance of Om. Kathopanishad says, Etadalambanam Shreshtham, Etadalambanam Param, Etadalambanam Nyatva Yo Yadichati Tasya Tat Omityetat. Because it is everything. It can be used as an alambanam, as a support, as a means for everything in the Jagat. Etad alambanam shreshtam. It also can be used for gaining jnanam. Etad alambanam param. Etad alambanam nyatva yo yadichati tasya tat. It is that. Everything is gained. Whether you want to gain by doing upasana on Om, anything in this Jagat, or you want to gain moksha jnanam by doing upasana, by doing dhyanam on Om, ididhyasanam on Om, it's available. As it says, Om ityetat. It also, in fact, in same Kathopanishad, there's also another verse. It says, Sarve Veda Yatpadam Amananti. Tapamsi Sarvani Cha Yad Vadanti. Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti. Tatpadam Sangrahena Bravimi. Omityetat. That which is told by every Veda, that for which everybody does various austerities, gaining which, gaining which. That I will briefly tell you. And then it says, what is that? Om. In the Gita also we have a verse, copied from the Kathopanishad into the Gita. It's small variation. Sangrahena Bravimi. I will tell you briefly. It is not like this fellows who get up on the stage to say, I will be very brief. I will not come between you and the main speaker. I will be very brief and then go on for the next 20 minutes. It says briefly means Om, period. Single ekakshara. Because it encompasses everything. It is also a Mangala Suchaka. Anything you start, Om becomes the initial prayer. By itself, it's a prayer. It is everything, therefore it's also a prayer. Om. So here also it starts with that Om. Like I said, every Dhyana Shlokam will start with Om and end with Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And every Dhyana Shlokam, every prayer, in fact, even when it asks for something which looks like it is Laukika, it is for this body, for this mind, the purpose is not just the strength of the body or the betterment of the mind, or have wealth for comfort for the body, or have fame for the mind, or have sukha for the mind. All of this has only one ultimate purpose. Moksha is the only purpose. We pray that all our papas are removed. In the hope that if our papas go down, we will have to go into less unpleasant situations. But if we ask ourselves one more step, why do I want to get into less unpleasant situations? One can think and say, I don't want to be in unpleasant situations because that prevents me from concentrating on gaining this knowledge, which is infinite gain. If my body is not comfortable, I can neither do Shravanam nor Dhyanam. My mind is not steady. If it is agitated, whatever Shravanam I hear, nothing goes in, pushed out. Whenever I sit down to do Dhyanam, nothing happens. My mind is agitated. So the ultimate purpose of any prayer, if we understand it right, is to allow this body-mind complex that we have to be in a situation where we are in a position to gain and absorb that knowledge aparokshataya. Therefore, this prayer also starts by saying, Om, Ye Devaha. Prayer is to Devas. We also understand what is Deva. The Gita also you've seen, you pray to any Deva, Bhagavan said the prayer comes to me only. There is only one Ishvara. We create multiple concepts of Deva, beings, effulgent beings, which have more power or more knowledge in certain specific areas. The domain experts. So if I want something in a specific area, I pray to that particular Deva, who is the present deity. But the prayer goes only to Ishvara. There is only one Ishvara. And the result also is given by Ishvara, maybe through that Deva. Bhadram karnebi shunyama devaha. Hey Deva. Various, there will be a Deva for ear also. I am not able to immediately put my finger on who the Deva presiding deity for ear is. Obviously praying to that Deva. Hey Devaha, Bhadram karnebi shunyama. Bhadram pashyema. May we hear only what is auspicious, calming, good for me, not hear of suffering, not hear of words which are disturbing. Even in music, if we have traditional classical music, it is soothing. But if one is engaged in 100 decibel rock music, it is not Bhadram. If one listens to Vedic chants, Bhagavad Gita chanting, it is calming. So Bhadram Karnebihi, with our ears, may we hear what is Bhadram. Devaha, may we hear only what is auspicious. Purpose, very clear. May we see only what is auspicious with our eyes. So that all my senses are exposed only to what is conducive for me to hear the ultimate truth and understand it. Bhadram karnevi shruniyama devaha, Bhadram pashyema akshabhir yajatraha. Not only that, not only all my senses, which are the sukshma, sthiraihi angaihi, may have strong, steady limbs. Shuštuvagam sastanubhi. Tanubhi is sharira. May not have any illnesses. May have strong. All of it, remember, the purpose is not that I need to have very healthy and happy, strong body, hands and legs, so that I am able to focus on learning this knowledge without getting distracted. Beautiful prayer. Any prayer which asks for good health must have a purpose. Why do I need all this? Why should my sthira, anga, every anga be sthira? Why should my tanu be strong? Rairangaihi shuštuvagum sastanubhi. Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu. May we remain prayerful to all the devas throughout life. I told you it is initially upasana, prayer. May my body and mind, senses all be attuned to be prayerful throughout my life. Whatever ayu I have, yad ayuhu. Shuštuvagam sastanubhi. Yashema devahitam yadayuhu. And all devas, please protect me. Swastina Indro Vriddhashravaha. Indra, who is the Lord of all the devatas. Swasti. May he keep me well, may he protect me. Vriddhashravaha, one Indra who is so well known, who is known throughout, Prasiddha. May Lord Indra protect me. Astina Indro Vriddhashravaha. Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha. Pushan is the sun, Lord Sun. We keep our bodies and mind healthy and protected. Hey Lord Sun. Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha. Very often, sun is compared to Jnanam. In many places, you will see this. So that my ability to get the Jnanam is constantly grown. Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha. Swasti Nartakshyo Arishtanemihi. Garuda is considered a bird which can fly without any obstruction anywhere. Height it flies. This Garuda is our what they call it in English, religiosa. What religiosa? There's an eagle. That Garuda, which doesn't have any obstructions, may that Garuda make sure that I have no obstructions. We pray to different devatas. Swasti Nartakshyo Arishtanemihi. And Lord Brahaspati. Swasti Naha Brahaspati. Swastino Brahaspati Dadatu. He is the teacher of Indra himself, all the gods, the Guru. May my Guru be available to me. Swastino Brahaspatir Dadatu. Swasti Dadatu. All with one single focus, so that my entire system is ready and attuned to gaining this knowledge, assimilating this knowledge, and make it my own, make it aparoksha jnana. Swastina Indro Vriddhashravaha. Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha. Swasti Nastakshyo Arishtanemihi. Swastino Brahaspatir Dadatu. As always, because these are Dhyana Shlokam for every learning that we have, we also want to make sure that there are no obstacles in the way. All obstacles are classified into three categories only. Those that come from me. Me meaning my Sthula Shukshma Sharira. Adhyatmam. Here Atmam is I, not Atma Brahman. Here Atma is Sthula Shukshma Sharira. Adhyatmam. All the obstacles that may be there because of shortcomings within me, for which we have been praying in the previous portion of the Dhyana Shlokam. May any other remaining which is not covered by me, may all be handled. The first Shanti refers to Adhyatma Vignaha Aranam. The second Shanti refers to Adi Bhautika Vignaha. Other beings. I am sitting to try and do Shravanam. Every other being, may they allow me in peace to do the Shravanam or Mananam or Nididhyasanam, which is my process of learning. May I not find one scorpion running in front of me when I am trying to do Shravanam. When I am going to do Shravanam, may I not have one fellow who coming running to me, listen, I have the tickets for the first day, first show. Come. May all other bhutas support me in my seeking, in my effort to learn, not become obstacles in the way. May devas also support me. The third Shanti is to look at obstacles Adidaivam. May they, things which are neither my own doing nor the doing of other bhutas, when I sit down to do Shravanam or Nididhyasanam, may there not be an earthquake. May other factors also help and support me in my effort to gain this jnanam. This seeking that I'm embarking on, which I know is not very easy, which I know has obstacles all along the way. May these obstacles be minimal. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You will notice that in pronouncing the three Shanti, there's a difference. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. All Vedic chanting have very clear Ucharanam and Swara. They have to be accurate. Otherwise, we may be asking for something which you don't want. Some of you already have seen this in Gayatri Mantra. Na prachodayat, the ends. It is actually Naha prachodayat. May all of us have the right decision making. If you don't say Naf, the Naha, the Visarga is not pronounced. Naha prachodayat we don't say, but together with prachodayat becomes Naf prachodayat. But if it's pronounced wrongly, then it becomes completely opposite of what you're asking for. Na prachodayat. That is important. And because this is an oral tradition, oral learning, these swaras become very important. When we were chanting this mantra and this was put up on the screen, you saw certain notations which tell you where an additional matra will come, where the ucharanam is higher or lower. All that is important. When the whole thing started, there were no written texts. One had to hear and make out. And the pronunciation of the individual letters also had to be high fidelity. In many parts of this country and in other countries, many of these letters don't really exist in the written text. People have a little difficulty. But if one listens carefully, that can be dealt with. Tamil, for example, has a huge issue. Ka, kha, ga, gha is what there in the Devanagari, all four. All four written only as one letter, ka. You can't say whether it is Ganapathi, 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 Ganapathi or Ganapati. But everybody pronounces correctly because we heard it so many times. So this whole pronunciation also becomes very important. Then with this Dhyaana Slokam, the actual Upanishad starts. And much of the initial Upanishad is prayer, upasana. And generally prayers are praising the glory of Ishvara. So we will see that a lot of this talks about the glory of Ishvara before it goes on to talk about the Nirguna Brahman. We will see that in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om